Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state.
Well, welcome everyone. We appreciate you tuning in to Innovation Unplugged. And on this episode today, we have a very special guest from Chattahoochee Valley Community College, Miss Nanyail Smoke. And also we have from the Innovation Center, Brandi Merrill, Director of Curriculum Design. So thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Good. Well, we're excited to have you. We are really looking forward to having a conversation about learning more about you, Nanyail, and learning kind of what's happening at Chattahoochee Valley around workforce development, around skills for success, and all those wonderful things that you want to share with us today. But first, we want to get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the role as the Director of Workforce Development for Chattahoochee Valley.
Well, I've been working with Chattahoochee Valley Community College for about 7 years in workforce development. I was working as an administrative assistant, but with a lot of skill set. My background is in management, finance, marketing, and I've actually worked in another community college system as a business analyst. So I go out and help businesses establish business plans, implement marketing plans, help them develop loan packets. So it's nice to actually take that business and industry background and apply it to the workforce.
Absolutely. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know a little bit more about Nanyail's background and history, so I have to say,
Really?
tell us something really that no one else would ever know, something exciting. Maybe you lived in another country. I don't know. Tell us about that experience.
Well, I'm a military wife.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for his service.
Thank you. My husband is retired, and while he was stationed in Germany, I worked for the AFI's German accounting office in Kaiserslautern.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is this Air Force?
Army.
Army.
Yes.
My dad was Army.
Yeah, Army.
He's retired Army now, but
Yeah.
Go Army.
Yes, all day. I love it.
That's a cool experience. So how did that set you up to come back here to now do this role? Like, I'm sure you encountered lots of different challenges over there, you know, in terms of maybe even language differences or just the way things are done over there. And then you can kind of draw from that and do this job. What'd you learn?
Well, I think working in a different country actually exposes you to different work environments, different work ethics, you know, and the workflow is different. Coming back to America, it was different. Working in the accounting office, everyone took their lunch at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Everyone is like, the accounting office just shut down, and it was shut down for an hour where everyone went to lunch.
It's very structured.
Yeah, very structured.
That's a pretty cool, honestly, that's a pretty cool setup. You know, they said that Italians kind of do the same. You know, they block off time. And I know that we all work in a fast-paced setting, but that is kind of a neat idea, is to just everybody breaks away so that as you're at lunch, there's not still work coming in and that kind of thing. Because, you know, we're all multitaskers. But that's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, I also enjoyed when we had birthdays, when we celebrated birthdays and stuff. It was really, Germans are big on celebrating. So now they would be celebrating Oktoberfest, you know, the time of harvest. So we would have celebrations throughout the month. And if someone's birthday fell in that time frame, it wasn't unusual for us to shut the office down and have lunch in the office with wine.
Oh, that's so cool.
I don't doubt it.
That's so cool.
You really got to embrace the culture then in Germany, didn't you?
Yes. I think working with the Germans, actually working in the German accounting office, it exposed me to a lot more because they would encourage me to come join them and like, let's go party, or let's go shopping, or do you mind going on this tour? I had a really good friend. Her father lived in Fishba, right in the mountains, just north of Landstuhl, and just about an hour away from France. And I spent a lot of time up there with her and her family. So it was just really a great experience.
Wow, that's amazing. As much time as I spent in Germany, I never got to live there. So I'm like really feeding off of Nanyail's story. It's just, I feel like it was such a great place to visit and work and to be able to live there and kind of embrace that culture on a daily basis. Sounds really interesting. I could just ask you questions all day long about that.
I bet. A shared experience, I'm sure.
Experience.
Have you traveled here? Have you done that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I did get to go to Oktoberfest. I rode the train for the first time over there, which is really neat. Everything is like, when you say structured, everything is on time. If you show up to catch the train at 2:03 and it's supposed to leave at 3, you're left behind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Goodness gracious. Well, so thinking about I don't know, how do the Germans train for skills? What does their environment look like? Thinking in your role now and your service to East Alabama and all things skills training and workforce, delivery and that kind of thing. How does that look different over there as compared to here? What do they do and how do they do it? And then I want you to kind of talk to what are y'all doing in East Alabama, and what are the cool things that are coming down the pipeline with workforce over there? But how do they do that in Germany?
So in Germany, most individuals start career training in high school. Basically they're developing their skills in high school, so that once they complete high school, they can enter the labor pool.
What a novel idea.
Yeah. They've already decided their career path into their what they call apprenticeship program if they choose that route. Otherwise, they go to a university. So it's almost like it's a choice. You have a pathway to apprenticeship or a pathway to further education, but both include additional skills training, right?
Right.
Cool.
Right. So thinking about that, I think with Chattahoochee Valley, we have a lot of dual enrollment students. And our focus is on helping those students develop employable skills. While we would wish that everyone would choose a career path in high school, not all students are really interested in gaining a career. But it's our responsibility to make sure that we kind of steer them into some type of skills training.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in the process of working with Russell County High School to actually bus some of our career tech students to the campus to actually participate in career tech dual enrollment and some of our new programs like pharmacy tech, HVAC, welding, and some of the other health sciences programs like medical assisting. And then we're also trying to do something like a pre-nursing program to encourage some of the students to start gaining some skills to enter the nursing field.
That's cool. It's very progressive. So what do you see? Are those the large industries over there? So over in East Alabama, tell us a little bit about what that workforce looks like, workforce needs look like over there.
Basically healthcare.
Yeah.
Healthcare. There's a lot of manufacturing in that region, but healthcare is definitely a huge need. And although Phoenix City is a rural community, we have a small hospital in our area, but across the bridge in Columbus, there's 2 major hospital systems, and I used to work for one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I used to work for one as a financial analyst. So there's many jobs to actually fill within the healthcare system.
I bet. We had a conversation, I guess, last week. So living over in East Alabama, I'm assuming you live over in that direction as well, having worked over there or working over there. Just traversing the 2 time zones. Was very impressed listening to somebody from East Alabama last week, as a matter of fact, at our customer service lab, talking about how she navigates both time zones multiple times of the day. And I'm assuming your students do as well.
Definitely. So I live in Phoenix City, but I live right on the border of Lee County. So interesting fact about my house is that one side of my house, my phone wants to register Eastern Standard Time, and the other side wants to register Central Time.
So it goes back and forth?
Yes, so it goes back and forth. So needless to say, we have a manual clock that we
go old school.
Yes. And of course, we have to lock our phones where it won't switch times back and forth. Otherwise, you're constantly going between Eastern and Central Time. And then my son, he recently graduated from Smith Station. Smith Station Middle School and elementary school, they operate on Central Time.
Yeah.
But the high school operates on Eastern Standard Time.
You are some smart people over there. Because I'm going to tell you, I can barely track time in one time zone, much less having to traverse that imaginary line of chaos in my mind, like having to jump back and forth. That's incredible.
When I lived in Columbus, it was the same way. You know, we had so many people from our church that lived outside of Phoenix City, but they were in Central Time Zone, but everything we did was Eastern. But then you had people in Phoenix City, and it was always like a juggling act of, okay, what time are we doing this? And everything was like, okay, wait, what time is it now? What time is it there? Like, you're always thinking through that. Like, if you've got an event planned or you've got to be somewhere outside of like your normal work schedule, it was always a question of, what time zone are we talking about?
Yeah, I did it this morning.
Yep.
It's incredible. Incredible. Well, what are y'all doing with, I know y'all are doing a lot. What are y'all doing with Skills for Success and Innovation Center stuff over in East Alabama?
Well, I'm currently in the process of working with Russell County High School and Central High School to actually launch some Skills for Success training for the fall. They're specifically interested in the fiber optic training, the skid steer, and the mental health and community health helper.
That's great.
Labs.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
Got ambulance operator that's still in pilot, but is close. So here's your healthcare stuff to feed your industries over there. So ambulance operator, and then soon, very, very soon, we'll have nursing support technician.
That would be awesome because I envision these skills trainings to actually help students kind of determine what type of career path they would like to take. So I see it as, hey, you might be taking a skills training today, but tomorrow, maybe this is just enough incentive to get you to start thinking about entering the EMS program.
Absolutely.
Or going into nursing, or if you go into something like carpentry or electrical helper, that's construction and engineering.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And how great is it that now you can really look at that and say, well, Skills for Success can now help them on that pathway by giving them that prior learning credit articulation side to really help them be a step above, because they've gone through those foundational skills already, and now they're ready for those programs to further get trained in those areas.
Yeah, it's definitely an excellent program. I wish it was something that I was able to take advantage of as a high school student, because, you know, there's a lot of high school students that complete their high school career and they're still trying to decide what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times it's about that exposure.
Yes.
You know, because we were talking before we came in, and when we all have children around the same ages, they're young adults, but you know, I have a sophomore in college. You have a freshman in college. You have a couple of kids, and one's in the workforce and
in high school,
yeah,
trying to figure it out. Yeah,
it's so hard, you know, to do that and expect that age group to really know, what does a job look like? What does that job really mean that I'm going to do day to day? And I think that's, you know, we talk about this a lot, and I know we've talked about it on the podcast a good bit, is just really kind of that exposure to what does a day in the life look like in that role. Yeah. And even if it's not that, now you can cross that off your list, that's not, you know, that's not a path I want to go down. Or maybe, and you just never know, you know, maybe you get in a skills for success, you earn this credential and you think that's not what you want to do. And then later on come to find out, oh my gosh, that actually helped open the door for this opportunity later. So we hear that a lot, you know, it's exposure, it's earned credentials and skills to try to at least get you in there, to get your feet wet, to get you in the door, you know, into the workforce. So it's kind of a cool experience to watch that happen.
Definitely. Our first Skills for Success training was with Russell County High School, and it was a skid steer training. And, you know, just looking back at how these students were actually, they got to witness the temperature outside.
The environment. Yeah, so important.
You know, working within the environment. The first day, it was hot. Okay, it was just really, really hot. So preparing ourselves for the second day, we brought fans. The students dressed a little different, and it decided to be cool.
Oh,
I mean, it was almost like the chill in the air was freezing. So I was like, well, at least they're getting familiar with the working environment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's what maybe our parents' generation got to witness or experience more than we do. And the cool thing is that, you know, they may have been exposed to that and they may say, you know, I'm not really big on the fluctuation of temperature. However, I don't want to sit behind a desk.
Right.
So, boy, if you can start to call out things, then your focus, you know, can become a little clearer on what you do like or what you do prefer to do. You know,
it's like, can they swipe left, swipe right? I like this. I don't like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just such a tremendous opportunity for students to be a part of something like that. Just to, for a day, it's almost like job shadowing. You know, you always gain more insight when you're there to experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What, I'm sure some of the stories that came out of that group or how well you got to know those participants of, you know, gosh, I've never done anything like this. Or maybe they have, you know, sometimes they grew up, you know, working heavy equipment or whatever. Were there any stories that came out of that group with Russell County that you can think of that audience might like to hear?
No, the kids really enjoyed just operating the machine. Most of them, they were going to college. They were taking up some type of career tech program. A few were going into nursing, and they really took advantage of the lab because they needed a career credit.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, let me ask, did you get on that skid steer?
I did.
That had you always fun. Yeah. If you had gone through the course, it's pretty amazing from our side too, because we don't know how to operate any of this stuff either until we go through the course, and then you go sit in the seat and you're like, oh, I got this. I remember how to do this. Yeah. So were you pretty able to maneuver around and do some things with minimal instruction on the instructor's part?
No, the instructor he guided me through everything.
I got you.
But it was fun.
Good.
I have no desire to work in construction.
Yeah. Well, I like to put my husband to work in construction in the backyard, and so it would be nice to put him through that experience of learning how to run a skid steer, and then he may can do some landscape work in my backyard. So you never know when those skills will come in handy.
So what are some success stories other than, being able to see the students really excel in something that they really maybe not have thought that they could do, but you all have ran fiber optics training as well. So
Yes. We actually had a young man. He was unemployed at the time. He went through our fiber optic training. I think he went through the first one. He gained a job locally. However, the pay, he was just hoping to get something more to support his family. And he actually ended up getting a job in South Carolina, making a lot of money just from the skills training.
Wow.
Yeah, and a little bit of experience.
What had he been doing? What was his background? Do you remember?
He had been unemployed. So he was kind of like right out of high school. He went to college, took a few classes, kind of stopped going to school, and his mom encouraged him to participate in our skills training.
go mom. Yeah. Good for her. I mean, because look how many doors that opened for him to have that opportunity.
Yes.
So not only did he be able to, he was there and completed the skills training, did the online, did the skills lab, but it got him a job locally.
Yes.
And then it opened up more doors after that for him. So that's amazing. I mean, that's exactly what we hope, is that those individuals who really haven't found their niche yet and what that is that they enjoy doing, it sounds like he found it through Skills for Success.
Yeah, and he's actually encouraging more of his friends that are still in the Chattahoochee Valley area to go through the training.
I love that.
You know, he's like, you can do this too.
Oh, absolutely.
So he can still be a recruiter for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's awesome.
That is. So what does the outreach look like over there? Where do you go, and where do you find students, and how do you pull them into the experience of workforce and Skills for Success over at CVCC?
So currently, I would say our outreach focus has been the high schools, because I've only been in the director role since July.
Yeah.
And I dream big, so I have some plans to actually do more in the community. I'm hoping that I can find a community partner that is willing to partner with us and do some community projects, kind of like Habitat for Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the construction labs would be perfect for a project, to go in and rehab a home, fix someone's driveway, go in and do some electrical work. I just think that the skills training, working with a really good partner, could mean more to East Alabama than just we're actually reskilling or upskilling or developing skills for workers. It could also be a community project.
Oh, spot on. For a purpose.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We were talking about, we talk about purpose all the time, but that provides purpose, not only to you guys as a team, and not only to the company that you're partnering with, but also to that student.
And to the community.
Yeah.
I think the community knowing what we're doing would help us grow the programs.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you see so you said you just assumed this role in July. Mm-hmm. So if I said short-term goal, what's your big dream short-term goal?
Short-term, I want to get more small businesses involved in our training. I was a small business analyst. I know there's always the need for more for a small business owner, especially if you're a mom and pop. We're here to assist you. I love the Small Business Development Network. I believe in having them come in and help develop those future entrepreneurs. And I think that a lot of people don't realize it, but entrepreneurship is a job. It's a job choice. It's a career choice. And I think that with the skills training, I'm thinking some of these individuals that go through the skills training may choose to be an entrepreneur instead of taking on a job.
Yeah. And I think we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those small businesses and those leaders across the state who see that as a goal as well, and see how important it is to get our small businesses the support, the resources, the workforce that they need to help them continue to be successful in our state. I love that you kind of brought that up, because I think that's what's important. Being in a rural, sort of semi-rural area as Phoenix City, but still kind of attached to a larger city across the river there, and in another state, probably has its own challenges within itself. There's other colleges and universities around Chattahoochee Valley as well, but being able to serve the community goes back to, how do I serve those individuals? And that starts with our small businesses and our students in the high schools, and really our families around the community that really can say, hey, wait, I have a need. Let me go reach out to my local community college and see how they can help. That's a great way to say that we're here for you. We're right here in your backyard, and this is what we can do. And even through small business, we've had some new training opportunities come our way, and some new ideas for skills trainings that we're looking at that have come from those small businesses across the state as well. So definitely important to make sure that they know that we hear them and that we're working for them and trying to help them be more successful every day as well.
And whether big or small, because we have some bigger companies too, and we serve everybody. We want to build everything we can if possible, but ultimately it still comes down to this: they need people, right? That's the common thread. So who do you hear from most out of your community of needing people? I know you mentioned healthcare. What are those other industries over there that, if they're listening to Nanyail Smoke today and you're saying, hey, I want to partner with you, I want to develop relationships and connect with you small businesses, what are you hearing from East Alabama area of needs?
There's a refrigeration company by the name of Kaiser that has expressed some interest in actually hiring some of our welding students. We've had various nursing homes reach out to us. I've actually connected with a local electrician who's interested in actually doing something. He's not sure what, but actually doing some type of partnership with us. And he's currently working with Columbus Tech. I had a painting contractor reach out, and I mentioned our skills training, and he lit up and he was like, oh, I can easily just build a wall and you can have students come out, and he's like, and I can get the paint donated.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I love
it. I've made some connections.
Yeah.
It is focus.
Yeah.
I got to get focused at this time. And
Well, we even know there's some flooring companies over in East Alabama that once our floor covering training is ready, after a couple of weeks from now, once we pilot that there'll be some businesses in that side of the state that'll be ready for that.
Yeah, they were filming.
Yeah.
We filmed over there. Yeah. Matter of fact, and I'm not going to call names and such, but it is right over the line. So in Alabama,
okay.
That's his area, that's his business, and he gave of his, kind of like talking about the painter. Time and time and time again, if it was not for industry, if it was not for these partnerships and connections that we make along the way, and people just willingly saying, listen, we need the help so bad, and I want to make a difference in my community. Right. Here's what I'm willing to do. And this guy came forth and said, you can have my time, you can have my resources, you can have my warehouse, you can have my business for the next 2 days to come film. And we did. And so, awesome. You've got a good flooring partner we'll connect you with over there when that flooring course goes live here shortly.
And they're going to be our first instructors too.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
they'll have a great, example of how to run that pilot lab and be able to run it in your community as well.
Absolutely.
I love to have them.
Absolutely. They were great to work with. So those connections are everywhere. So on behalf of CVCC, if all of our listeners are listening, Nanyail's ready. She needs some small businesses to reach out and partner with.
I need some small business partnerships, someone that's willing to actually partner and help develop our local workforce and meet the needs of the community. I would also love to have a partnership with a service-driven organization that wants to take some of our labs and complete local projects, give back to the community, because community is in the name of our college.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our focus is on the community.
Mm-hmm. That goes back to when we are the community's college.
Yes.
So we can't do anything without those partnerships and those connections and those students. Ultimately that's who we're serving and helping and all of that. So our newest motto saying is that we make life better. So how is CVCC workforce, what do you see as the next steps to make life better for those students at CVCC and through whether it's through workforce skills or whatever? You've kind of touched on a lot of different things, but I'm going to say, how are you going to make life better, Nanyail?
Ideally, I would have community and business partners that are willing to hire these individuals straight out of school and give them the opportunity for advancement and to earn a livable wage. I mean, that's basically what workforce is about. I want people to be able to earn a living.
Mm-hmm. Get people in the workforce, be able to support yourselves. We've heard so many stories time and time again about, and one example that I love is that this is the first rung. This is the first step somebody could take for even if it's just a change of career or a change of anything to get out of a situation or to make a different path. That workforce is that first rung. And you could get skills and then go on and, do other things and create a different path or if you so choose. But it's a great opportunity for sure.
And that livable wage, I mean, that's so important because that's what brings generational changes. So if you can provide for your family and be able to support them and get jobs where you get benefits and you're able to do those things for your family, it makes a difference down the road. You're showing your children and your grandchildren and nieces and nephews, hey, there's a pathway for further education, thus leading into further training. Now I can be successful and make a higher wage than I could without these skills. And it definitely can have that ripple effect through the generations that we've seen as well. We've heard and seen those stories time and time again, which are so exciting to see.
Yeah. And I think people need to embrace these stepping stones that the skills labs offers them. It's like this is your open door to a career.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the end.
It's the step forward,
right? Yeah. You one step, and it can lead to a promising career in nursing or any healthcare field.
Absolutely. Well, and what a recruiting tool your labs.
Yes.
Because as you create and connect with those industry partners, those business partners in your community, when they come out to your labs, and oftentimes it's by reaching out and saying, hey, we're having a lab, next week for whatever course you're running for fiber. So if you have, those business partners come in, they've got a plethora of people to choose from, to hire right there. And they can actually witness that they can do the things that they need them to be able to do.
Right.
Because those are the skills that industry said, hey, we need these trainings so that these skills can be learned so that we can then hire these people to be able to do these skills. So it's this whole wraparound philosophy. But if they'll come to the labs, they've got a whole recruiting event right there.
Yes. The CDL training, I'm actually working with Russell County High School, Russell County transportation to see if there's an opportunity for us to have our students go through the CDL Class B training, and then have them follow up going through the 2-week training with Russell County Transportation and possibly landing a job.
Beautiful. That's it. That's it. And you've been there how long?
Yeah.
Yeah. The birth of partnerships is what's exciting, you know, like just to see those connections and to see really what that can bring upon.
Yeah.
It just really shows, hey, we're here to figure out how do we help you fill the workforce gaps you have, but also how do we connect those students that we're already working with into jobs quickly.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, not 2 years from now, but now.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
People are always surprised. How long does this take? And,
Right.
you know, what do I have to pay? And we get all of these questions all of the time. And really, nobody can believe that you can do it that quickly and that fast. You know, most of our heavy equipment, as you know, takes somebody maybe 20 hours, worth of online work, and then come in for a 2-day lab, and boom, there you go. I mean, we hear stories all the time of, hey, I was, working here and I was making $15 an hour. And the next thing you know, 20 hours of online work plus 2 days later, and now all of a sudden I've got a $25 an hour job. Well, you went from, a 15-hour job to $25 an hour is $50,000 a year. That's an incredible jump in that amount of time.
Definitely. And I think one of our most popular requests is the CDL Class A.
Mm-hmm.
I have students, but Chattahoochee doesn't have a truck. But I'm grateful that Southern Union has offered to partner with us and offer their truck in their facility on the weekend. And they're allowing us to take some of the students through training. It's like 5 weekends, 5 full weekends that an individual can come in and actually complete the lab. And people are shocked. They're shocked that just 2 days on the weekend for 5 weeks will have them develop the skills to go sit and pass that driving test.
Mm-hmm. Incredible. We're in the process of, I'm sure revamping all of that CDL. So we've refilmed it, and it'll be a brand new look and a brand new feel, and it's going to be so much better. It's really good now. But when we get done with it and editing and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be a whole brand new feel to everything. So that's exciting. So that'll be a new way for you to go out and market as well. Like, hey, this CDL was so successful that it allowed us to go back, and do version 2.0. But that is almost unheard of. So going back to what you said about the partnerships, like we've seen a lot of that. And I know that those partnerships existed in the community college system because we're such a hub and network of 24. And I know that helpfulness, existed before Skills for Success. It's just cool that we get to kind of sit back and watch those happen, because time and time again, the colleges are working together, and they may even share in some territory and share in some students. But ultimately, the mindset is to serve the state, and serve those communities, right, that they're in. And so, who cares about a territorial line? We're going to help the people that we're here to help, right?
Yeah. Better together, right?
Yeah.
Making life better. All right. So one last question, Nanyail. We're running out of time today, but if you could say, I have a wish and my wish is, if we were, genie in a bottles and could say, okay, may I grant your wish? What would that be for being able to support more with workforce development at Chattahoochee Valley? How can the Innovation Center team help you or look at programs that would really help the needs around your community? What would be your wish for the day?
My first wish is for a truck.
Okay. Yeah.
She just talked about that. Yes. Even before we started the skills labs, there was a huge demand for CDL training in our area. And I think if we had a truck, we can offer daytime classes,
right,
and better meet the needs of the local community. second wish.
She's going multiple.
I know.
I love this.
This is like Aladdin. Like you can get 3 wishes.
I don't know. The truck is like my main goal.
So truck is what she say.
I'm going to wish on your behalf that when you get done here today, your inbox back at CVCC is full of every small business in East Alabama that says, for some reason, I know that you said this today, that I'm going to call you. So I hope that they are going to flood your inbox. And if they don't do it today, by the time this airs, that we can get that word out there that, hey, there's a new leader over here in workforce and she needs your help and she can make an impact, but she can't do it by herself.
Right. And we're willing to partner with you to serve this community, because that's what it's all about, is serving the community.
That's it right there. I think that wraps it up. Serving the community. Well, Nanyail, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you coming all this way from Chattahoochee Valley to be on with us. And so I'll let Brandi close this out, but thanks again. And we appreciate everything you're doing there at Chattahoochee Valley and looking forward to continued success.
And fill up Nanyail's inbox, small businesses over in East Alabama. So all the Innovation Unplugged listeners, thank you for listening today. And if you'll go out, be sure and like, subscribe, and follow on all podcast platforms, and reach out to Nanyail.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.